They say laughter is the best medicine. But here, in the heart of the Crimson Veil Big Top, laughter is currency. And the price, oh, the price is steep. Nico the mime was no stranger to silence. He lived in it, breathed it, performed it with a grace that made words obsolete. But when the last show ended and the final bow was taken, the hush that fell over the tent was more than absence of sound. It was absence of life. Every night, the Crimson Veil filled with eager spectators, drawn in by the promise of wonder and spectacle. And every night, without fail, they vanished. No screams, no struggle, just rows of empty seats by dawn's first light. Nico had ignored it. Not his business, not his concern. He was just a performer, a mute shadow amidst the gaudy chaos of acrobats, fire breathers, and, most of all, the clowns. The clowns were different. Their grins stretched too wide, their eyes too bright, too empty. Their painted faces cracked like old porcelain when they smiled, and beneath the smeared grease paint lurked something sharp, something hungry. They fed on joy. No, not joy. Laughter. The kind that bubbled up helplessly from deep within. The kind that shook rib cages and brought tears to the eyes. The kind of laughter that made people forget themselves. The kind of laughter they never got from Nico. That's why they kept him. Why they hadn't devoured him like the others. Because a mime does not laugh. A mime does not scream. But he could hear them. At night, when the lights dimmed and the Calliope's song turned sour, he heard the whispers slithering between the tents. Soft giggles, warping into grotesque cackles. The choked, gurgling remains of mirth turned monstrous. One night, he stayed behind. Hidden in the shadows of the trapeze rigging, he watched. The clowns gathered at the center of the ring, their hands outstretched, their two long fingers curling in the air. And from the walls of the tent, from the floorboards, from the very air itself, laughter poured forth. Guttural, wheezing, stolen. And the clowns? They drank it in. Their hollow cheeks plumped, their sunken eyes brightened, their cracked lips stretched wider, wider, too wide, until their faces split open to reveal teeth. Rows upon rows of jagged, needle-thin teeth. They were starving. And the audience was the feast. Nico knew then. He had to run. But where? The circus was its own world, a liminal space that defied roads and maps. Run out one end, and you'd find yourself at the other. A never-ending loop of red and white striped hell, unless he broke the cycle. The laughter was their sustenance, their anchor. But what if he could silence it? What if he could starve them instead? That night, he took the stage for his final act. The audience, fresh and unsuspecting, sat waiting. The clowns loomed at the edges of the tent, their painted grins twitching in anticipation. Nico performed, not for them, not for the crowd, for himself. He exaggerated every motion, his white-gloved hands weaving stories in the air. Tragedies, heartbreak, sorrow. A ballet of silence, sculpted in shadow and moonlight. And the people watched, entranced. Not a single chuckle, not a whisper of mirth. The clowns shifted, uneasy. Their painted smiles faltered, their hollow bellies growled. Still, Nico moved, his silent tale winding toward its climax. A tale of escape, of breaking unseen chains, of slipping free from a world that sought to consume. The air grew thick, the laughter trapped within the tent twisting, writhing, unable to reach them. Then, a pop, a single balloon bursting, loud as a gunshot, and the silence collapsed. Nico ran. Through the aisles, past the horrified audience, past the writhing shapes of the clowns as they twisted upon themselves, their bodies folding inward, imploding without their feast. The air crackled, the scent of burnt sugar and decay thick in his throat. He burst through the tent flaps, into the night, into the real world. Behind him, the big top shuddered, then collapsed, swallowed by its own monstrous hunger. And just like that, the Crimson Veil Big Top was no more. Nico the mime never spoke of that night. He never returned to the stage, never dared to test the limits of his own silent power. But sometimes in the hush of an empty theater he swore he could hear it. A laugh, soft, faint, and far, far too wide. And so, dear audience, should you ever hear the sound of laughter echoing from an empty circus tent, do not enter, for the show must go on.